In the quiet, fading light of a September afternoon, a car moves with purpose along a road. Inside, a man of science, a man of healing. He carries with him the memory of a wife who became a national icon, a legacy of saving lives. The journey is familiar. The destination, home. But on this road, between one place and the next, the familiar can become a trap. The journey can become the destination. And the questions that begin in that moment, can echo for years. What happens in the space of a single, unrecorded minute? When a life of service and intellect is met with sudden, brutal force? Who, or what, waits in the shadows of the day, not for a random victim, but for this specific man?
Every mystery has a story, but not every story has an answer. Every week, we uncover the chilling cases that have haunted investigators for years. Unsolved disappearances, cold cases, and the darkest secrets waiting to be discovered. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Join us, if you dare. The Unsolved Chronicle.
This is not just a story of a crime. It is a story of a life, a legacy, and a labyrinth. A story where the evidence is a collection of silent objects, the witnesses are the ghosts of possibility, and the truth remains on that rain-slicked road, waiting to be found. To understand the mystery, we must first establish the facts. The story of Dr. Chike Akunyili is, first and foremost, a story of a life lived in service. A renowned medical doctor and consultant, Chike was a pillar of his community. But to the wider world, he was known as the husband, the steadfast supporter, of Professor Dora Akunyili, the fearless Director-General of Nigeria's National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. Dora was a national hero, a woman who waged a very public war against counterfeit drugs, earning her both acclaim and powerful enemies. Through it all, Chike was her rock. The timeline of tragedy begins on September 28, 2021. Dr. Chike Akunyili, aged 68, had traveled to Onitsha in Anambra State. He had attended the Vanguard Personality of the Year award ceremony, held posthumously in his late wife's honor. It was a day of celebration, of remembrance. His last known movements were captured on CCTV, leaving the event. He was en route to Enugu, his home, his car navigating the busy, often perilous Onitsha-Enugu expressway. Somewhere around the Afornpor junction, a bustling yet unassuming stretch of road, the ordinary day shattered. It was an ambush. Reports indicate that Dr. Akunyili's vehicle was intercepted by a group of armed men. What followed was a violent attack. When the sound of gunfire ceased, Dr. Chike Akunyili, a man who had dedicated his life to healing, was dead. He was not alone. His driver, and a police officer assigned to his security detail, were also killed. The scene was one of profound chaos and tragedy. The public and media reaction was one of shock and outrage. Headlines screamed not just of a murder, but of a symbolic assassination. How could this happen to the husband of Dora Akunyili? A man connected to one of Nigeria's most celebrated and controversial public figures. Initial investigations were launched by the Anambra State Police Command. The landscape was complex. Southeastern Nigeria has been plagued by violence from separatist groups and widespread criminal activity. The crime scene offered clues, but no immediate answers. Shell casings. Tire marks. The silent testimony of a vehicle scarred by bullets. Witnesses spoke of armed men, of sudden violence. But in the fog of such a traumatic event, details were fragmented, identities obscured. A major lead emerged quickly. The police pointed a finger at the indigenous people of Biafra, or IPOB, and its armed wing, the Eastern Security Network. The official statement suggested this was a targeted political killing, a consequence of the Akunyili name's deep connections to the political establishment. But just as quickly, a dead end. IPOB spokesperson vehemently denied any involvement, calling the accusation a fabrication. They condemned the killing. The narrative split, and the waters muddied. Other leads were pursued. Was it a kidnap attempt that went horribly wrong? A case of pure, brutal armed robbery? The investigation stretched on, but no arrests were made. No group or individual was formally charged. The official statements grew quieter, the press conferences less frequent. The case, brimming with national attention, began to cool, leaving a family, and a nation, with a void where answers should be. Theories and oddities. Theory 1, the political assassination. The most prominent theory, and the one first proposed by authorities, is that of a political assassination. The reasoning is rooted in the powerful legacy of Dora Akunyili. Professor Dora Akunyili's war on fake drugs made her a target. She threatened a multi-billion naira criminal enterprise. Some investigators believe that the hatred for her was so deep and so lasting that it transferred to her husband after her passing. Killing Chike was a way to send a message, to desecrate a symbol, long after Dora herself was gone. This theory gained traction due to the brazen, militaristic nature of the ambush. It didn't bear the classic hallmarks of a mere robbery, it was an execution-style attack. The involvement of a high-profile separatist group in the region, even amidst their denials, provides a potential motive rooted in political symbolism and terror. However, contradictions abound. If it was a symbolic hit, why was it carried out on a busy road with multiple other casualties? Wouldn't a more clandestine approach serve a political message better? And with IPOB's strong denial, the question remains, if not them, then who? This theory points to a chilling why, but the who remains shrouded in shadow. Theory 2, the botched kidnap. A second, more pragmatic theory suggests the ambush was never intended to be a murder. This was a botched kidnap for ransom attempt. High-profile individuals and their families are prime targets for kidnappers in the region. Dr. Akunyili, as a successful doctor and the husband of a celebrated figure, would be perceived as a high-value target. The plan, according to this speculation, was to intercept his vehicle, abduct him, and demand a ransom. The evidence that supports this is the location, a known hotspot for criminal activity, and the method, an armed roadblock. Things, however, went terribly wrong. Perhaps Dr. Akunyili's security detail resisted. Perhaps the driver attempted to escape. In the ensuing panic and exchange of gunfire, the situation escalated from abduction to massacre. This theory explains the violence and the lack of stolen items being a primary focus. It paints a picture of a tragic, chaotic error by criminals. The puzzling detail is the specific targeting of his vehicle on that day. Was it opportunistic, or was his movement tracked? This theory offers a motive of profit, not politics, but leaves the question of precise, tragic timing unanswered. Theory 3, the personal grudge. The third theory pulls the focus away from the grand stage of politics and crime, and into the more intimate, and often more inscrutable, realm of personal motive. Dr. Chike Akunyili was a man, not just a symbol. A successful medical professional with a long career, business interests, and a complex web of personal and professional relationships. This has led to quiet speculation that his murder may have been the result of a personal or professional grievance. Could a failed business partnership have turned deadly? A dispute over inheritance or family wealth following Dora's passing? A slight, real or imagined, from his own medical practice that festered into a desire for revenge? This theory is the most difficult to prove, as it leaves the least public evidence. There is no manifesto, no political claim. It is a theory built on the understanding that human motives can be deeply private and violently potent. It explains why he, specifically, was targeted, without needing the context of his wife's fame. The contradiction is the scale. A personal grudge rarely involves a coordinated armed ambush on a public road. It feels both intensely plausible and, simultaneously, insufficient to explain the operational nature of the attack. It is the quietest theory, and in some ways, the most haunting. Case status plus call to action. As of today, the murder of Dr. Chike Akunyili remains an open, yet cold, case. The Anambra State Police have not publicly announced any arrests or named any definitive suspects. The theories persist, circling the facts like mist, but a conclusive breakthrough remains elusive. In a case like this, where the shadows of politics, crime, and personal life intersect, the path to truth is never straight. So we turn to you, the audience. To the collective power of attention. What detail lingers in your mind? The political symbolism? The tragic randomness of a botched crime? Or the silent, unknowable story of a private life? Which theory feels closest to the truth, or do you have another? Share your respectful thoughts, your questions, your perspectives. Sometimes, the coldest cases only thaw when met with fresh eyes and renewed focus. And so, we remember. Not a headline, but a life. Not a mystery to solve, but a person to honor. In memory of Dr. Chike Akunyili, husband, father, healer.